Welcome crypto traders to the 829 trade alert video. I've updated the Bitcoin Cash we received from the fork, and our profit now on the portfolio is 113% in 2 months. And you can see our full track record here. The biggest gain was going all in on Bitcoin when it was trading at $2,618, and then we sold it for a price of $4,286 for a 63% profit. But after that, we took a 86% profit on Ripple with a 10% portfolio position. We're sitting on a 50% gain on Dash with only 5% of our portfolio. We bought Bitcoin Cash in addition to the coins we received for free, and have a combined value or profit of just under $340 between the two Bitcoin Cash positions. We're down 10% in the 10% we purchased right here. However, this, which now represents about 15% of our portfolio, was given to us for free during the fork, so that's just additional profits. We're down $13 or 7.4% on the Ripple trade, which we reinvested profits in. So we sold our Ripple position for a 86% gain, and then we bought back in during the first flash crash on Ripple. So that's a little history of what we've done. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has shot through the roof overnight. We were supposed to get filled at 502, and it ran up to 4,600 something. But our stop, at least on my portfolio, it was not filled, so I'm not going to say that I got filled. But we would have woke up to an overnight profit of about 10 to 20%. Let's zoom in here. So yeah, we could have, if this had done as it was instructed, it would have bought it right here, and this would have shot right up to here. And now currently we're seeing a small sell-off. So anytime I see something like Bitcoin break into new highs, I think that's a good time to start building a position. And I'm now fearful that if we don't take action, we're going to miss the next big run in Bitcoin price. So the last big run went from $1,800 to $4,300. Is this the beginning of the run from 4,000 to 8,000? You know, maybe not. So I'm not going all in right here at this very elevated price, but I'm going to start building a position in Bitcoin over the next few weeks. Likely, depending on price action, I'll try to invest around 10% of my portfolio per week for the next 5 weeks and build a 50% position into Bitcoin and try to get a good dollar cost average over the next few weeks. Now, if I see it taking off, I may slow down the speed at which we accumulate. If we see a big crash, we will definitely accumulate shares as it's crashing. Because I think Bitcoin is just getting started here. It's just starting to really wake up. And once cryptocurrencies become a normal day part of life that you can spend the money, that's when Bitcoin's worth $50,000. And that's why we're going to be bullish long term on Bitcoin until we see some major risk, such as essentially the government trying to shut it down and regulate it to the point where it wouldn't be popular. But for now, I'm very bullish. So let's go ahead and put in a order for 10% of the portfolio at the market price. Okay, so I'm now working with a $2,000 portfolio. So I will invest $200. Okay, and I actually got an order that I didn't have enough money, so I think that's because of all these open trades. So I'm going to go close out a lot of open trades and try this again. Okay, I replaced it after canceling those other orders. Okay, so I got the order out, but you can see the price has just been jumping. A second ago it was 45.60, it's 45.54, and I'm in at 45.53.89. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Yes. 200. Oh, we got filled. Okay, so we're filled. And now you can see it on my chart. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is put in a, I'm just going to do one order because I'm actually trying to transfer $400 in Ethereum over to a Ethereum wallet to start slowly investing in ICOs. In a minute I'll go over that, but let's just, so we've taken off a lot of these really big crash scenarios. And I'm going to put in one new order right now for limit for $200 if we can hit 4,000. Okay, so here you can see the price per share and the amount and the fees. My profit loss does not calculate these fees. They are very small. Okay, and now if we look at our updated portfolio, you can see I have the amount of Bitcoin I purchased, the current profit loss, the gain percentage, the price bought in US dollars, the position size approximately, not exact, the US dollar units for purchasing the coins, the coin price, the last price, and then over here we have the trade alert document, which kind of gives you a written summary of what's going on. This is something I email to all of my subscribers who are on our paid list, but I also post it at the bottom of the YouTube video. For those of you curious about our premium product, also below the video where you'll find that description of what's going on in the portfolio is a link to upgrade your free YouTube to the premium service, which includes text alerts, it includes webinars, it includes ICO trading videos, which will not be included in the YouTube product. So for free, we're trading all these top coins that you can see and access in this document, in this Excel doc. You'll get the same content that's in this email. The only thing that will be excluded for the free YouTube channel is going to be investing in initial coin offerings. So I'll actually be publishing later today a whole video about how to get started with that, and you will get free access to that. But the actual buy and sell alerts for that will be part of our premium service only. Okay, so let's go look at the rest of the top coins in the market and see what other adjustments we're going to make. So far, we've written down that we've removed the low limit orders for Bitcoin. We've bought a 10% position in the portfolio for a price of per coin. And we've placed a new limit order to risk 10% of the portfolio for Bitcoin at $4,000 per coin. Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin Cash. It's getting smashed. So what I believe is probably happening is Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin are doing something to change the hashing level difficulty and the pay rate for mining Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So my expectation currently is that when Bitcoin has a rally, Bitcoin Cash will have a sell-off, and that it may be due to mining rates. And when the algorithm updates, it will become more difficult for Bitcoin and less difficult for Bitcoin Cash. And so people will jump over to the Bitcoin Cash, and the mining profitability, I believe, is potentially having a big effect on these two top traded coins. So right now, if we look at the top volume charts, Bitcoin 2.4 billion last 24 hours, which makes sense because it's taking off. Ethereum at 1 billion, getting back to its normal levels. Ripple is picking up, and our position's profitable from negative. 654 million. Litecoin coming kind of a little bit stronger. Bitcoin Cash is at pathetic levels. Last week, this was trading $1 to $2 billion a day. Now it's trading 1/10 of that volume, so that's not a good sign for Bitcoin Cash, although I don't think it's going to just fade away. I think that, like I said, the mining algorithms will update and people will fly back into Bitcoin Cash. So if we didn't already have such a big position size in Bitcoin Cash, I would say this is a great time to put a 10% position on. So, for those of you trying to figure out how to follow this, if you've missed any trades in the past, you can see I already hold $358 worth of Bitcoin Cash, which represents 20% of my portfolio, and another $160 worth, which is currently down 10%. So together, that's $500 in a $2,000 portfolio. So I'm very overweight on Bitcoin Cash, but I'm going to hold on to it for now. So what would cause me to sell it? Well, yeah, how long do we hold on to this before we just take our money and run? Probably around this. Let's zoom in a little bit. So the next good support, it's just such a new coin that there's not a lot of data to really make any smart judgments on what's going to happen. It's only been out for a very short amount of time. It had a lot of hype. It had a huge amount of trading volume at these different prices right here. It had one run up, and then it's just been in a constant downturn. So my guess is that the people behind Bitcoin Cash are not just going to give up this easily. They're going to do something to make the mining more profitable, and we're going to get a run up. So I'm going to hold on to this position. If it gets below 500, I'll seriously consider selling it and trying to get back in when it's showing signs of health. So that's our update on that. Nothing to do on our end. If you're new and you want to hold 10% risk in this, I think that's not a bad idea. Okay, Dash. Okay, this is a 1 hour chart of Dash, which we can look a little bit better at. We bought it here after a small sell-off. It jumped to a high, crashed, jumped to a new high, crashed. This one's just really taking off. I wish I had gotten a bigger position than 5% in our portfolio. I'm not going to add any right now just because Bitcoin's taking off, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect these other coins. We may take a profit. If we don't see Dash starting to take off again in the next couple days, I may close that out for a profit and look for a sizable crash to get back into Dash. But yeah, either way, if it starts to go down too much, we'll likely sell this position before it hits 340. And if it starts to take off again, we'll let it run up one more time and then try to sell right when we see some kind of short-term selling like we can see in most of these tops. Okay, so here's Ethereum Classic. We got really close to filling a stop limit at a great price near all-time lows, and it just didn't happen. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of love for Ethereum Classic during a Bitcoin rally, and it looks like we might be entering the next big Bitcoin rally. So I'm not going to move that price up, and I do think we have a good opportunity for it to get filled in the next month if we're just patient. Okay, so Ethereum is running up close to an all-time high, and Bitcoin's running up. So those are the two big competitors of each other, but oftentimes whatever it is, big investment money is coming in and they're diversifying for a lot longer hold time than we are, And they're probably doing a similar thing that I like to do. I look at the average volume and then designate my funds based on that historic proven metric of how much money is being traded daily, the liquidity. So if you look at it that way, that would kind of explain why Bitcoin has been able to bust through its recent highs into all-time highs. It's got a lot bigger trading activity than Ethereum, but Ethereum is still pulling its weight and going up. So I'm going to wait at least one more day to consider opening a 10% position on Ethereum to see if this can continue to climb or if we're going to get some kind of pullback. But I do think that we're getting ready for another overall bullish period in cryptocurrencies, and we're not going to want to be left completely behind. I'd rather take on large positions during a very severe crash like I did originally to start this portfolio. But with a part of the portfolio, I'm happy to chase into new highs. Okay, now we're looking at Litecoin. Litecoin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this stop limit at 32 and I'm going to move it to 52. I think we can catch a crash on this and it will be a 10% position. So I'll just show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this stop limit. I'm going to invest $200 to pick up Litecoin at 52. Buy now. Okay, moving on, I'll just review the notes. So far, here's our notes. This is all below the YouTube video again. And then I'm updating the detailed list of all the different limit orders we have sitting in the market waiting to get filled. Okay, NXT is still trading in nowhere land. We still have this sitting down there. REP continues to crash. Good news for our YouTuber who's one of our paid premium members. He got out up here and made a nice profit. Stratus, nothing's going on here. We're leaving that alone. Monero, I'm going to cancel this stop limit and just put in a new limit right here at $100 for a 10% position. Cancel. $200. We need a approximately 33% drop to get to 100, and we'll pick up a 10% position. Okay, so you can see I added the note and also updated it down here on number 3. Okay, now we're looking at our friend Ripple, which we have a 10% position on. We bought it way down here. It immediately skyrocketed up. We sold it. It crashed. We picked it up during the crash. It crashed twice as much as we anticipated. It bounced back up for a profit. It's back down. So we bought it at 23.5 and it's trading at 0.2198, so basically 0.22. So we're only down a tiny amount, and I think this is a good long-term hold. We still have a stop limit at, which could just be a limit. That was my mistake. We're going to double down if it can breach this recent low, although it could go as low as 16, I believe, as a maximum low. I'd probably triple down if it hits 16. But for now, this one is a hold, no action to take. Zcash is always a fun one to look at. I happen to know it's one of the more popular mining coins for retail miners, people with anywhere from a few $1,000 invested to maybe up to $100,000 invested in their mining operations. And it's just slowly teetering on its way up, and it's had a very big run up of $100 starting at 160 since just back here on 7/16. So that's a great run up. It's a great chart. And the last high was up in the 420, so it still has room to potentially double if it can beat its recent high. So I'm going to keep looking at this a little more carefully and consider a 10% position in this in the near term future as well. Okay, so I added this to our doc just so we have a note of it. Here's our track record once again. Now what I want to spend a brief moment on is looking at the exciting world of initial coin offerings. So it's a kind of a weird topic, but all these coins coming out are raising money by issuing coins, which you buy normally with Ethereum. And so what you have to do is set up a special Ethereum wallet, transfer money to that Ethereum wallet, and it can only accept Ethereum. And then you can send Ethereum to a Ethereum address, a wallet of the various coin developers, and they in return will give you a batch of their coins. Now usually immediately there's no exchange to trade these on, so you have to sit there and wait for them to develop their technology and get enough speed and runway to really drive attention to their coin, and then they go hit the exchange. And then the hope from there, it's just like an IPO in the stock world, but anybody can do it. You don't have to be an accredited investor. And usually the earlier you get in on it, the better cost per coin you'll pay. But the problem is most of these are probably going to lose 100% of your money. And you can just see the tremendous amount of coins that are currently raising money just right now in August. So how do you filter out the garbage and find the coins that are worth investing in? And how do you know what's a smart position size? My strategy will be to risk anywhere from 0.5% to as much as 2.5% in any given ICO. And once again, we're going to be following the money, researching the fundamental analysis, looking at the community's reaction on Reddit and different boards, and really doing a lot of research to make sure that if we do put a risk on an ICO, that it has a very good potential, not just for when it first hits the exchange, but after that to really catapult its price. So if you think about getting in at Bitcoin, it's now trading $4,500. But what if you bought Bitcoin at $100? So that's the kind of potential return you can make on an ICO. And the way it works is 1 out of 10 pays for all of them. So if you get 1,000 or a 5,000% return on one of those positions, the other 9 can completely lose all of their value and you still do well. So going into it, knowing that our success rate will be very low, we have to have the mindset that we're not just going to dump our shares right on the exchange immediately, at least not all of them, and that we need to follow the proven ICOs where we can tell there's a lot of smart money putting a lot of funding behind it, because that's likely the technology that will have the greatest success creating a market for its coin when it does hit the exchange, and likely is going to have the best technologies being developed because they'll have the best funding to hire the right programmers to pull this off. So that's just a little teaser. This will not be part of the normal track record, which all my YouTubers will obviously get for free. It'll have its own track record where I'm moving 20% of this total portfolio for the aggressive gains. And so we just hit 1 or 2 wins in that ICO track record, and it can double the entire portfolio, if not better, while not risking the entire farm. So I highly recommend, if you do any ICOs, that you do follow these rules. 1, make sure it's a big ICO that has a lot of popularity, a lot of money being raised. 2, make sure the community likes it enough. And then 3, don't risk too much money. 2.5% is a very large position on an ICO. whereas a 0.5% position is a smart position. And so that gives you enough money to do around 10 to 30 ICOs in a period of a year if you're going to spread it out evenly. Now if you're planning on growing your portfolio capital, maybe you spend it a little bit faster, but that's my overall recommendation. Later today, I will be creating a video that teaches you how to get set up to trade ICOs, and that will be published to YouTube. So I hope you look forward to that video. And then open up the comments below this video, and you can find, one, the link to upgrade your free trial to the premium membership. So you will get the ICO alerts, you'll get the text message alerts, you'll get email support from me. Plus, you'll find a link to view the track record, which is also on the sales page. And you'll find a copy of all these different instructions I've written about what we're doing in our portfolio today. Okay, so thank you so much for your time, and I'll look forward to a new update tomorrow.